Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I knew you missed me. Gotta love the sound effects. Big cheering and all. Been gone for about a week. It's been one of those crazy weeks. It was a weird weekend and everything. Did a Spartan race on Saturday. That was fun. Running out in the desert. Luckily, it didn't hit in the 80s or the 90s before I got out of there. Unfortunately, for other people that ran around the 2 or 3 o'clock, it's fun times, right? Those guys got hit with the heat. Alright, well, welcome to another episode of Breaking the Law with Eddie Law. My name is Eddie Law. If this is the first time you ever listened to the show, I basically talk everything sports. This one's going to be a little MMA heavy today, of course, with UFC London just going down this last weekend. Well, of course, UFC 196 going down this weekend. That's going to be amazing. First of all, the fact that we get this fight, the main event, in my opinion, is better than the main event that was supposed to go down. We'll go over that in due time, of course. And a lot of things that were said, a lot of things being said about this last card that headlined by Anderson Silva and Michael Bisping. But this weekend's going to be headlined by Conor McGregor and Nate Diaz. I mean, for all the trash talk, the build-up that's coming for this fight, and we're only days away. It's coming for sure. And it's starting early. Fang on the Spreaker chat saying, "Oh boy, already writing Diaz." Look, man, I made it very clear from the very start of when this fight was announced, even before it was announced, that this be the fight. I was gonna go all out fanboy and straight up just be all Diaz all day. I'm all about Diaz winning this fight. If he's going to win this fight, I don't know. All right. I'm not 100% confident on that because Conor McGregor has proven me wrong every single time that I've, bet against him. But, you never know. This is a different fight, right? And everyone's basically counting out Diaz already. And, if you look back at Conor's, previous fights, nobody was really counting those guys out. Other than, maybe the Brandao fight. I didn't think Brandao even had a chance to win. I didn't think Dustin Poirier had a chance to beat Conor McGregor either. I thought he had a chance, but I didn't think he would do it. But I did bet against him against Chad Mendes, and I did bet against him against Jose Aldo, and very, very clearly proved me wrong. So, you never know about this fight, but again, I've never, ever, I'm never going against the Diaz brothers. It's just what it is, man. I can't help it. I like fighters that fight. You know what I mean? Not guys that come with. I mean, look, it's obvious you want to come with a game plan and everything to win the fight. But I like guys that show up to actually fight. They don't treat it as a sport. They treat it as an actual fight, which I can appreciate because I grew up in a similar fashion as the Diaz brothers for sure. But of course, this is an all fight, and of course, Fang's already going that fight equals jab. Hey, look, man, you got to use the jab at some point, right? Not to mention, look, Nate's only got a 2-inch reach advantage in this fight. That jab is not going to do a hell of a whole lot against a guy like Conor McGregor, who's that damn good at timing everything. He times everything really, really well, and that's the scary part. Because Nate eats a lot of shots. We'll talk about that fight in just a little bit. Like I said, of course, this is an all-sports show. We're talking a little bit about the other sports, but of course, like I said, this is an MMA-heavy show tonight. And I hope everyone sits back, tunes in, and enjoys the show. No Skype tonight. Skype decided to update itself and is acting all weird. So, apologize for that. But you can always reach me over at the Spreaker app or Spreaker.com, wherever you're listening to the show at. You can definitely hit me up on the chat. Also on Twitter at ELAW31. That's ELAW31 on Twitter. Reach out, opinions. I read them all. I mean, I've been reading Fang stuff for the last couple minutes here, and it's all calling me out on the Diaz stuff, so. But I don't mind it. I don't care. I got thick skin. Bring it on. Anyway, let's talk some NFL football real quick. The New England Patriots. Oh, the one that you wanted to call in? Oh, I'm sorry, dude. It's what it is, man. The Skype app just updates itself, and it won't work well anymore. So I'm gonna recalibrate it here, and I'll have it back by Wednesday. So I don't know if you want to call on that, or maybe even Friday. We'll see. Anyway, real quick. New England Patriots have agreed to a 2-year extension with Tom Brady. This is the guy saying he wanted to play past his 40s, and I wouldn't doubt that he could. Tom Tom Brady's one of those guys, man, that even when he starts off the season all, finally showing his age and, his body's been weathered a little bit, somehow ends the season strong. I mean, Tom Brady's one of those guys you can't count out. I almost equate him to he's almost like the Kobe Bryant of the NFL, just with Uggs. And I don't think Kobe Bryant would ever wear Uggs. Maybe there is a picture of Kobe Bryant wearing Uggs out there somewhere, but I don't think he would. But look, the 2-year extension, man, I think this guarantees that Tom Brady will retire with the Patriots. I'm not 100% convinced he will, because we know, Bill Belichick, the head coach for the New England Patriots, for the two people I don't know. But Bill Belichick is not shy about cutting people that aren't contributing anymore. Not saying that Tom Brady's even close to that yet. He's not. Tom Brady's got at least 2 solid years left, I think. But I don't think. I just don't. I don't know. I don't think he's gonna want to retire when Bill Belichick says he's done. I think there's a chance he'll go to another team. Hopefully, it doesn't happen. As much as I've had my issues with Tom Brady and the Patriots in the past, I respect greatness, and Tom Brady is one of the greatest for sure. Fang on the chat here on Spreaker says, as always, he'll take less money. He's got plenty in his wife's money. Keeps the Pats always in the free agent game. Got more in him than Peyton for sure. I agree with both of those points right there. Tom Brady always does that. He always wants. Look, Tom Brady's about winning. He's got plenty of money, and he knows it. He gets endorsements. That gorgeous wife of his got plenty of her money too, and they're still married together and all that. So he's got plenty of money saved up. That dude knows it's about winning now. So he'll definitely take less money. Look, it allows the New England Patriots to sign, offensive line help. Definitely, they need it badly. It allows them to sign wide receivers and maybe a running back or two. Definitely would need that. Need to help that O-line though. Tom Brady took too many shots in the throughout the season and throughout the playoffs too. So kind of an expected move by Brady. On Spreaker chat, Fang says, even though Peyton gets more money, tired of seeing his big forehead and annoying voice on those commercials. Look, and it's been, even if you haven't listened to like any of the, what would you call them? The talk shows, like the First Takes and the Around the Horns and PTIs and all that ESPN stuff they do. It was pretty clear from the get-go that Peyton Manning loves money. That he's about the money. He sells his name for what car it was that he was pitching, and then pizza, and he's got he owns franchises of I think Papa John's or something. What else does he have? That Nationwide is on your side. Whatever, he does that stupid commercial. So I mean it's pretty clear. Peyton Manning likes his money, and he wasn't really gonna. Probably even especially with the Colts, he wasn't willing to restructure, or I don't think, maybe he might have done it once, maybe twice, probably just once. Restructured his contract to help the team too much. That guy likes his money, and look, you can't blame him. Athletes don't have the longest careers, so he for sure put together his money. But look at the difference. Tom Brady did it quite a few times now, where he restructured, allowed them to get. Not only just to get free agents, but to get good free agents. And look at Super Bowls. You know what I mean? So, as much as you may not like Tom Brady, but you got to respect his game. That dude is a champion. One of the, we could be talking about him as the greatest quarterback to ever do it. Possibly. Maybe they might call him the second greatest quarterback. Maybe third, because of the Bill Belichick, thing. Where they might say, oh, you're the best system in there. I just think Tom Brady's top 3 quarterback ever. My opinion. Probably a lot of people's opinions, but I don't know. Another thing I read today, Bart Starr, of course, Hall of Fame legend, former Green Bay Packers quarterback. He played football in Alabama, and it turns out I think his wife just revealed not too long ago that he played pretty much his entire career with a back injury that came from a hazing incident at Alabama in college. That dude played 16, if I'm not mistaken, he played about 16 years of professional football. In agony, okay? Every game in agony because his back was jacked. And it wasn't until like 10 years after his career ended that they found out he had a cracked vertebrae. and they had surgery, they fixed it, and he was good to go. Like, I'd have been mad at myself on Bart Starr. I'd be like, dude, come on, man. Get out of here with that. Yeah, Fang, I read that too. Fang reminded me here. Saints cut Marcus Colston. Colston, I think it's Colston, right? Yeah, should be. Marcus, yeah, no, you're right. Colston, yeah. Saints released leading receiver Marcus Colston. Colston was one of those guys that was drafted late in the draft, but he's a tall receiver with good hands, and he was really good for a few years. And out of nowhere, he just had the last 3 or 4 years have been awful from him. 32 years old. He's the kind of guy that I think the Patriots pick up and end up making really, they would be able to use him pretty well. Another thing they could probably get him is, I don't know if Arizona will want him. Arizona is used to young, quick receivers, fast receivers that can beat defensive backs. Although they might be able to use him in the slot somehow. Big guy in the slot would be scary. But, who else could take him? Anybody? If I'm Marcus Colston, I'm only signing with contenders. It won't be the Broncos anymore because for sure Peyton Manning's done there. But maybe Seattle, maybe New England is probably in my opinion. If I'm Marcus Colston and I talk to New England, they say, hey, we're about to sign some O-line guys. How about taking less money to play a couple years here and have a shot at a Super Bowl? I would probably want to do that. But we'll see what Marcus Colston is all about. On a small note, and I read this locally, and then I found a story on ESPN. Jalen Strong is a former Arizona State wide receiver, and he was actually arrested. I want to say yesterday. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, he was arrested yesterday due to possession of marijuana. You don't want to do that if you're a professional athlete. But it turns out he got arrested, put in jail, and then he was released without being charged. So I don't know. Maybe he has his card, and that was it. And who knows? And then the Jets tagged defensive lineman Muhammad Wilkerson. And here's the thing about tagging him. Look, no football player likes to be tagged because it gives him a 1-year deal, and that now it's a good amount of money. I believe it's the median of the top 5, I think, or top 6 contracts for that position in the league. Which is why, for example, back when Jeremy, is it Jeremy Graham? Yeah. Back when Graham, the tight end for the Seattle Seahawks, when he was with the Saints and they tagged him, he was trying to argue that he was a wide receiver and he should get wide receiver tag money. And the NFL basically ruled against him, saying, "No, you're a tight end, dude. Go take your tight end money." And that really, annoyed him, and ended up, being one of the reasons they sent him out of New Orleans. Now Wilkins is one of those guys. If I remember correctly, Wilkinson actually skipped the OTAs, if I'm not mistaken. I believe he skipped them last season. He'll probably do that again because he's really upset. Now they could hash out some kind of deal, but I think July is the last chance they have, somewhere like mid-July. This is the last chance to get a long-term deal done. Other than that, he'll make about maybe like $17 million, I think. And so it's not bad, but it's for one season, and you get injured, and that team's gonna be like, you got hurt, we don't have to sign you no more. They could also trade him, but I don't see that happening. Todd Bowles likes defense; he's a defensive guy, and Wilkerson is legit. You love him or hate him, he's legit. So they definitely want to keep him in there. And Fang reminded me of a nice little quote from the lovable Rex Ryan, head coach of the Buffalo Bills, saying, he's talking about free agency last offseason. Now he says, quote, "We were horrible. We were terrible. We've got to be all in. It's kind of like being half pregnant. Forget that. We're all in. We're fully pregnant now." End quote. That is a classic Rex Ryan quote. Like, he will say stuff like that until the day he's no longer, until the day they stop putting a microphone in his face. It's definitely something that you would expect from him. And then somebody got a video of Marshawn Lynch in Egypt riding a camel rapping. Now he's over there, he's over there working with American Football Without Barriers, which is a program. Obviously, they go to other countries trying to spread the game of football and get people to watch it and like it and all that. He was rapping on a camel in Egypt. He was doing pretty well. But Marshawn Lynch on a camel in Egypt is just a weird sight to see. So you should definitely look up that video. It should be on ESPN somewhere or on YouTube. And it's something you do not want to miss. It's actually, you'll laugh a little bit here. And Fang, Matt Forte, if you missed it, Matt Forte was told by the Bears not too long ago that they will not seek to re-sign him. And so he can go anywhere. Matt Forte still got at least a year or two solid years left, or seasons left, right? At least 1 or 2 solid seasons left. And Fang says he thinks might go to the Dolphins. That'd be a great pickup for the Dolphins. I could see him. Go. It's weird that I keep giving the Patriots all these players, but I can see him go to the Patriots too if he wants to win. But he's still young enough to get a big contract, and New England's not going to pay him, not the money he wants. And where else could you go? Maybe Baltimore. There's plenty of teams that need a good, solid running back, and that are wishing, they're willing to dish out the money for it. It's just whether or not he's going to be able to win, and whatever he's trying to do. And Fang says the Dolphins need to get rid of Lamar Miller. Lamar Miller is inconsistent. He's so inconsistent. It's just bad, and it sucks to say that about Lamar Miller, but he is pretty damn inconsistent. And he's one of those guys that you have to, every offseason for him is going to be big. So that's kind of where we're at here. All right, we're going to take a really, really quick break. Going to come back, talk about some basketball here. And we'll talk about Dwight Howard. Talk about a few other guys. So we're right back here on Breaking Law with Eddie Law. Hit me up on Twitter at eLaw31 or on chat on the Spreaker app and Spreaker.com. Be back here after a short break. That's what happens when you can't figure out where the mute button is. Huh. Welcome back to Breaking Law with Eddie Law. Only on Spreaker app, Spreaker.com. For now. Soon enough it'll be bigger. And I was speaking back and forth with Fang here on the chat, talking about Ricky Williams. That Ricky Williams is more trustworthy than Lamar Miller. It is sad, man. But that's one of those guys that was so good. So good. But the only problems he had, is the weed thing, and he can never get over it. And look, he could talk about, people always talk about, he's got mental issues and all this stuff. We just talking playing football. The only problem he had, and Fang just pointed out right here, is that he fumbled more than Russell Westbrook takes shots. And thank you for the little transition comment here. But he did fumble a lot. Later in his career, he fumbled, a little less. He got better every year, in my opinion. But he's one of those guys that I don't think finished his career on his terms. I think that the league was just tired of him. Let's talk some NBA basketball here. And honestly, the biggest story, and I would talk about Dwight Howard, but the little thing about Dwight Howard that I read and actually saw, because I have a NBA League Pass, and I was watching. For some reason, I was watching Bucks Rockets. I think every other game was at halftime that was on. And they had Dwight Howard at the line, and Gus Johnson, who's a commentator for the Bucks, was saying that Dwight Howard told him that Dwight Howard wanted to go to the Milwaukee Bucks in that trade. Now, if you believe the rumors, there was rumors flying left and right that Dwight Howard wanted to, or not Dwight Howard, that the Rockets were trying to, or the Bucks wanted to trade for Dwight Howard, but didn't pull the trigger on the trade because Dwight Howard would not sign an extension with the Bucks. But did he want to go to Milwaukee? I don't buy it at all. Dwight Howard is a selfish guy, and I don't mean that in like a bad way, if that makes any sense. I mean that in the way that he wants to go somewhere where he can make money, have fun. I honestly don't know if he really cares about winning anymore. He had his one shot in the finals. Ended up running into the Lakers when they were really good with Pau Gasol, Kobe Bryant, Lamar Odom, all those guys. And, it just sucks. It would have been his year if it wasn't for the fact that the West is always so much more powerful. Fang says, Rockets wanted too big of a price for Howard, according to the Mavs. I agree. Fang, you know what, Fang? You're my producer now. How about that? You can produce a show. Screw it. Why not, man? Do it. But, yeah, no, you know what? And I heard that too. The Mavs did say that the Rockets wanted a lot for Dwight Howard. They wanted picks and prospects, and you're not going to get that for a rental. You're not going to get that. That'd be like trying to rent a Dodge Challenger 6-cylinder from the airport car rental place, and then wanted a $30,000 deposit for your 1-day rental. That's just not happening. Oh, and then the deposit not being, basically you don't get your deposit back. You just keep it. Non-refundable, whatever that is. Yeah, they just too much. They want way too much. The price is way too high for Dwight Howard. A lot of teams actually felt that way. I believe the Suns actually made a call too. And the Suns have a lot of first-round picks. And word around here was that the Rockets were asking for almost all of them. And that's not going to happen for a team that's clearly in a rebuilding mode as the Phoenix Suns are. And I'm waiting for Fang's smart-ass comment to come here in a second on the chat about my Suns. Anyway, but let's talk about your Heat, my friend. Making a big signing. Making a big signing here with Joe Johnson. Joe Johnson got a buyout from the Brooklyn Nets. He actually left almost $3 million on the table to leave Brooklyn. Now, everybody was saying he's going to sign with the Cavs. He's going to go with LeBron. He's going to go help him get a ring, right? Why do we so badly want everybody to go with LeBron James? Everybody so badly wants Cleveland to win a ring. That's not happening. Okay, you want to know why it's not happening? 1, Golden State Warriors. And 2, nobody wants to go to Cleveland. Okay? Hell, today came out that Kyrie Irving allegedly, according to Stephen A. Smith, wants out of Cleveland. Now, I don't, I understand that sentiment completely. 1, it's Cleveland. 2, he is a ball-dominant guard. LeBron James is a ball-dominant forward. Kevin Love is the biggest loser out of all this, but he's getting paid millions of dollars to just relax and shoot the ball when he gets it and rebound. Right? But Kyrie Irving is definitely not happy playing second fiddle to LeBron in the second season. Look, this is what I'm thinking. I think Kyrie Irving probably thought, okay, we'll win the title with LeBron back and we'll be good. We'll be good to go, whatever. They ran into a monster called the Golden State Warriors. Right? So now we're doing this thing where everybody wants to get super teams going. Everyone's talking about Durant going to Golden State Warriors. By the way, if Durant goes to Golden State, don't even show up for the games anymore. Teams will just forfeit games against them. They're going to go 82-0 without playing a single minute. They'll be the first team to go undefeated without playing a single minute and anyone scoring any points whatsoever. And somehow Steph Curry will still get the MVP. I'm telling you that right now. That's just what it is. They're already just dominantly, it's just scary, ridiculous good. They get Kevin Durant. It's just going to be impossible to beat those guys. Just plain impossible, right? But, you know, the whole thing with Kyrie Irving, look, if he forces his way out during the offseason, I mean, where does he go? He's gonna go where the team with the most picks, or the team that offers the most picks goes. Because, you know, for example, let's say Phoenix calls. Phoenix has a lot of first round picks, right? For sure, the Cavs want all of them, and with the way the Phoenix Suns front office works, they're gonna give him every single one of them to take Kyrie Irving. And I wouldn't mind that, except for the fact that would extend the rebuild for another 2 or 3 years, maybe 4 years. So that'd be rough. I wouldn't really want that to happen. But I would love to see Kyrie Irving in a Suns uniform. That dude is super talented. So this right here, this story right here is actually connected to the Joe Johnson thing. Beno Udrih, and Beno Udrih is actually a solid point guard. He's one of those guys you do want as a backup, because if your starter goes down, this guy can actually give you, let's say, a good 25 games, I think, where he plays at a really good level, and then either gets tired, he gets hurt, or he just levels off and doesn't do very much. The Heat bought him out, and he left a ton of money on the table, and he's injured, so no one's going to sign him. And a bunch of other teams got really upset about that, because I don't think you're supposed to be able to release or waive an injured player. But they bought him out. Now, who knows if he gets that money on the side or anything crazy. You know, business works as business does. I'm pretty sure it's, you know, outside the law. But that allowed them to sign Joe Johnson and stay under the luxury tax. So it worked out for both teams, or it worked out for both sides. Just not every other team. And now the Heat, because they're under the luxury tax, I think they get like $2 million out of the pot from everybody else. That's gonna be kind of crazy. But I think Joe Johnson's gonna be. He's gonna end up being like the best late signing in the NBA before the playoffs start. All right, because Joe Johnson is one of those guys that can handle the ball, he could pass, he could shoot, he can make more importantly, he can make his own shot. So now you got Wade, you got Joe Johnson, and Goran Dragic. They can make their own shots. Chris Bosh, if he comes back and plays, although I think they want him to sit, and I don't know. I for his own health, I hope he does, but if he doesn't, that's another guy who can make their own shot. Joe Johnson could get the ball to Hassan Whiteside. He could do the pick and roll. Because I remember when Joe Johnson was with the Suns, he could play defense too. But when Joe Johnson was with the Suns, that dude got hurt, and that there went our chances to beat the San Antonio Spurs. I forgot what year that was, but I think that was the first year that we had Steve Nash back on the team. And then Joe Johnson became a free agent, and he literally asked the Suns to not match the Atlanta Hawks offer for him, because Joe Johnson wanted to be an all-star. That's legit the reason. And, the Suns were like, all right, well, hey, good luck. Good luck in Atlanta. Nothing really happened. Didn't really get too far. He became an all-star, that's for sure. But in the heavy, talented West, Joe Johnson was not going to be an all-star. If you remember, for so many years, Carmelo Anthony, who was with the Denver Nuggets for most of his career, or for the first part of his career, he could not. They just couldn't get to the All-Star game because there was too many good forwards in the West. Way too many good forwards. So that part's kind of crazy. Now people are saying Kyrie to the Knicks, or fans telling me Kyrie to the Knicks or the Lakers. And look, everyone's going to look at Kyrie Irving. The Lakers are going to look. Lakers, they have. I think they might even be in the lead, if you want to call it that, to get a Kyrie Irving, because they have D'Angelo Russell, and D'Angelo Russell under Byron Scott, who's the head coach of the Lakers, is not a good fit. Byron Scott's one of those guys that does not. He's kind of like Mike D'Antoni. Mike D'Antoni was never very good at developing players, and he never gave rookies a chance. He only put in the veterans, and he played the veterans heavy minutes, which is why at the end of during the playoffs, deep into a playoff run, the veterans always got tired, and the rookies were never ready to come in, or the young guys were never ready to come in and take their place and keep that momentum going. Because he just was not a coach that liked to develop players. Byron Scott, not a guy that likes to develop players. Until now, when I believe the front office had to have been like, look, dude, you need to develop these guys, or for sure you're gone. All right. The Knicks trying to getting Kyrie Irving. I'm not sure what they would have to offer. in trade for to Cleveland for Kyrie. I mean, we got Galloway. They got they're not going to give up KP or Porzingis. They're not going to give him up. Certainly not going to give up Melo. Although that'd be crazy, wouldn't it? Imagine if Phil Jackson says, you know what, screw it, we're going to blow it up, and he talks Carmelo Anthony into waiving his no trade clause, and Carmelo ends up next to LeBron James in Cleveland. I don't think they'd be a good fit, but I think it would be fun to watch. I think it'd be fun to watch. I don't know if Carmelo, would accept being second fiddle to LeBron James. Kyrie Irving won't accept being second fiddle to LeBron James anymore. So that part's I don't know, it's kind of weak. And Fang, you're right. It's a culture thing. In his comment says this, just like it's a culture, just like they wanted Jordan to get one in Washington. Not LeBron being this generation's GOAT. They want him to get a ring every year, and that's what you expect from a big name like that. Everyone compared Kobe Bryant to Michael Jordan. Now, by the way, that's the closest we're ever going to get to another Michael Jordan, right? That's the closest we're ever going to get. Now LeBron James compared to Michael, compared to Kobe, compared to Magic Johnson. Oscar Robertson, the triple double machine back in the day. He's compared to everybody, and so you do expect him to get a title every single season. Now this is something that Steph Curry's about to get into. By the way, the way Steph Curry plays, if they don't win the title this season, he's gonna get some pressure on him. Because now it's not only that everyone expects the Golden State Warriors to win the title, they expect them to win every single game. Legit. I mean, whoever didn't see that game on Saturday between OKC, the Thunder, and the Golden State Warriors, I thought for sure that game was over. I thought for sure that game was it, and the Thunder were going to pull it off. Then Andre Iguodala gets in there, gets fouled, hits his shots, ties the game. In overtime, the Thunder are up. Russell Westbrook takes an ill-advised shot, which it's such a Russell Westbrook thing to do. By the way, Russell Westbrook, stop shooting threes. Just stop. You're not Steph Curry. John Wall, stop shooting threes. John Wall of the Washington Wizards, stop shooting threes from 30 feet or from 40 feet. You're not Steph Curry. You don't have that game. Let it go. Just be yourself. All right? Russell Westbrook, stop shooting 30, 40, 50 shots a game. Kevin Durant's got to get a couple of those. You need a mixture there. You need balance. You know what I mean? But the Golden State Warriors at this point, look, in overtime, Steph Curry hits that three from way out there. Leaves 0.6 or 0.6 of a second left on the clock for the Thunder to do something. Hits that that monster three. The Golden State Warriors are expected, basically at this point, to win every single game. There's no way they're not now. So if they don't win the title this year, it's going to be seen as a huge letdown. And they'll be thought to, everyone is going to be like, oh, they'll win it next year. If they win this year, everyone's going to be like, oh, they'll win it next year. And they'll win it the year after. They'll win it the year after. It's that kind of thing that comes with playing real well. So, but with LeBron James, it becomes different because he claimed his own greatness. He said it himself. With words, he said it himself. He goes to Miami. I'm not here to get 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, all that stuff. He went and claimed his own greatness. Steph Curry just plays his game. Just a couple years ago, Steph Curry was thought of as a bust because of his ankle injuries and all that. And Golden State rewarded him regardless with a huge contract. And because they saw something in him that no one else saw. Everyone else thought it was just an injury-prone guy. And it turns out he's not. 27 years old now. Easily the best shooter I've ever seen in the NBA. And that includes Ray Allen. That includes Steph's dad, Dale Curry. Includes, Jordan, of course. Kobe. Just best pure shooter we've ever seen. He hits it from anywhere in the court. If he's in the building, it's 90% sure it's going in. It's that crazy. That's how good that guy really is. And another point here on the Joe Johnson, Beno Udrih thing. And Fang makes a good point. I was about to say this, but I completely forgot to say it. Hassan Whiteside is a free agent, right? And Hassan Whiteside is one of those guys look, if he just gets his attitude in order and stops just getting too crazy and undisciplined as far as his attitude goes, and starting stuff with everybody, with the refs, with his own team. Always, the other day he dunked against the Knicks and he actually stared down Melo. And I'm sitting there going, who are you to stare down Carmelo Anthony? But that's a guy that believes in himself that much. That he's like, I deserve to be good. I deserve to be here. I deserve to be able to stare you down after I dunk on you. Yeah. But it is these moves that the Heat are making. Look, Pat Riley is an intelligent human being. If he wasn't being successful in basketball, he'd be successful in something else. Pat Riley's just that good. And this is just a setup to be able to re-sign Hassan Whiteside. And so it's we were talking about during the trade deadline, or hours before it, they were saying, Whiteside for Dwight Howard, and most of us were saying, no, don't do that. If you're Miami, you absolutely do not make that move. And that's the right move to not do that, for sure. Because Dwight Howard's going to ask for max money. He's not going to get it. There's no way. I don't see anybody giving him that kind of money. That's not possible. Oh, that'd be scary. This guy, Fang saying, I just thought about a dangerous thought. Imagine Curry in the Spurs uniform. Curry under Pop. That would be insane. Although he wouldn't be shooting 40-foot three-pointers, I'll tell you that. Yeah. Melo staying in New York. Look, I'm a big fan of starting, building around a point guard. But it would have to be a point guard that could pass a little better than Kyrie Irving does. Kyrie Irving's a good passer, but he's not. I don't think he's a passer you could build around and have like a team basketball mentality. But in the triangle, the way Phil Jackson wants to do it, is very possible. Oh, this guy's talking now. He said, Fang says, all right, I'm going to make your night. White said the Phoenix is possible. I won't lie. Look, man, the only way I see that happening is if we somehow get rid of Tyson Chandler. That's literally the only way I see it happening. Tyson Chandler is a big contract. We have Alex Len already. We have him. I wouldn't be mad about Whiteside coming here, but I tell you what, he won't be. He's better off in the East where they don't run as much. He's better off in Miami, maybe in New York. You know what I mean? Where they're not going to run up and down. And I agree, Whiteside is definitely better than Alex Len by a whole lot, and definitely better than old Tyson Chandler, who's showing his age at this point. But I don't know, man. That's what I like about the offseason, especially the draft. When when people are trying to move up in the draft, like we have Ben Simmons as likely the number one pick. A lot of people are going to be looking for that. Suns have a lot of first round picks and be trying to trade up to get the number one, or at least a chance at it. But I don't know. Look, this is why I like basketball. Anything could happen, especially right now when players are going to get waived. For example, the Spurs just signed Andre Miller, who is, in my opinion, one of the best veteran point guards you can get as far as being a contender. So Spurs getting him to back up both Tony Parker and that dude from the Australian guy. Oh, I can see his face, but I can't remember his name. Oh, it's messing my brain. Anyway, but he's gonna be like, he's gonna be one of the 4 or 5 guards on that team that could easily start. And give Tony Parker time to just relax and heal up. Team's gonna be great. Yes, sir. Shane Larkin, my boy from the U. Oh man, Shane Larkin when he was playing with Miami, man, he's one of those guys that anything could happen. Now I called him like a poor, and I hate saying it, but I called him a poor man's point guard for the Charlotte Hornets. This is how you know I'm tired. He's super Kemba Walker. I call him a poor man's Kemba Walker. That dude just made things happen when there was just no business for them to actually happen. But he's Brooklyn Nets now, if I'm not mistaken. But Shane Larkin, finally doing his thing in the NBA, and I'm happy about that. Now, if Nick Johnson from Arizona started doing his thing, I'd be very happy too. By the way, I'm going to start talking about college basketball here in the next show. It's one of my things. I honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I don't watch it all season long. I watch college basketball as we get closer to the tournament, because that's when teams actually put it down and start fighting real hard. So $3 million with the Nets for Shane Larkin? Hell yeah, good for you, Shane. Yes, sir. I did not know he got $3 million. Yeah, do your thing, Shane. That's what I'm talking about, boy. All right, I gotta take a quick break here. We're gonna come back for the last segment of the show. The MMA segment, of course. I always end the show with that. Be back here in a couple minutes. Shout out to the Passion High Five for these beats here that I play during the breaks. Enjoy it. This is Breaking the Law with Eddie Law on Spreaker app at Spreaker.com. right back here on Breaking the Law with Eddie Law. Spreaker app and Spreaker.com. Appreciate everyone tuning in. Shout out to Fang, who's been he's now my producer on my show. So, and he was very excited about the MMA spot or the MMA segment. And I apologize for the fact that Skype decided to update itself because it's a piece of crap. But would have been great to get you on the phone. Hopefully for the next one, my friend, especially after this weekend's card, we definitely need to get you on here. We can go back and forth about the fights, but. So I'm going to lead here with, we'll talk real quick about UFC Fight Night 84. Go through the results really quick. David Timur against Martin Svensson. David Timur is one of those guys that he was actually a favorite against Svensson. These guys trained together on the Tough Show, I believe under Conor McGregor, if I'm not mistaken. But Timur hit him with an uppercut from hell and then just finished him off. It was beautiful, and he cried in the cage. And everything. The emotion was there for sure. Saying in the post-fight interview that he's like, just a few years ago I was watching this on TV and now I'm here, and burst into tears. And look, man, good for him. I like seeing that kind of that you just see that's a result of just hard work and just emotion and putting your everything about you putting into a task and trying to be the best. And so it's nice to see. I don't mind seeing that kind of emotion. Then Timu Packlin is the slickest dude on this card that night for sure. Taking hurting T-Ball Gutsy pretty bad and taking his back, finishing him off real smooth. Like Timu Packlin, I think a guy to keep an eye on definitely in that division. Daniel Omilenchuk against Jarges Danho. Only thing I can say about that fight is that it happened. It was kind of crappy. In fact, it ended because Daniel hit Danho with an uppercut to the balls and dropped him. Danho could not continue. And it went to majority decision. So basically, what happens when they do a majority technical decision is they basically judge what has happened to that point. And at that point, Daniel had done more than Danho. So it's kind of what it is. Mike Jarvis here on the Spreaker chat saying blood, sweat, and tears definitely for I'm assuming you're talking about David Timur. Definitely a guy that shows that you gotta say blood, sweat, tears for Danho, who more than likely, it looks like, to me, it seemed like he might have broken his cut right into his nuts. All right, moving on here. Rustam Kabilov taking a decision over Norman Park. Never been a fan of Norman Park, and he just got dominated and suplexed and destroyed in this one on the ground. Christoph Jocko taking a decision over Bradley Scott. I expected way more from Bradley Scott. He did not deliver whatsoever. Arnold Allen, the decision over Yatsen Meza. This is basically a setup fight for Arnold to show that he has finishing power and that he could be, one of those, what do they call them, needle movers. And he showed that he's not. He's not ready. So if you can't finish Yatsen Meza when you're a guy that's supposed to be all hyped up and everything, then you're just, you're not worth the hype, in my opinion. And that's not to disrespect Yatsen Meza, but Yatsen Meza is not the best in that, in that division for sure. Sky asked him, beautiful uppercut to Chris Dempsey, put him in on ice skates, and then knocking him out with a head kick, sending him flying backwards like Ryu from Street Fighter. It was beautiful. He gets the win there. Then Davey Grant against Marlon Vera was a fight. Neither one belongs in the UFC, in my opinion, but especially not Marlon Vera, who cheated multiple times, getting his hands and his fingers in the gloves. It was annoying like no other. By the way, Mark Goddard, somebody should have told him that Marlon Vera don't speak English. I had to get the translator to tell him to stop putting his fingers in Grant's gloves. And even then, I think he did it at least one more time. After that, Marco Amirkhani gets a decision win over Mike Wilkinson. Nice to see Amirkhani, face adversity and overcome it. That guy, by the way, if no one knows this, apparently, because a lot of people were like, oh, he's just going to knock him out real quick with a flying knee or something. Amirkhani is a wrestler. He's a ground guy, okay? He grounded out Mike Wilkinson real easy. So, but it definitely adversity. Mike Wilkinson is a tough guy. And I believe that Mike Wilkinson's next fight, if you give him someone that just stands with him the whole time, I mean, that's a little highlight reel for him. After that, Brad Pickett gets a split decision win over Francisco Rivera. In my opinion, a little controversial. I thought Rivera did enough to get that split for himself. But, win in England. Then Tom Breeze gets the decision over Keita Nakamura. Nakamura was supposed to be, a lot of people were saying Tom Breeze should have just knocked him out, finished him. But, if you don't know about Nakamura's history, that guy's tough. You can say whatever you want about Nakamura. You're not finishing that guy very easily. And then Gegard Mousasi in the co-main event bores the hell out of everybody, and they let him know it. He got upset about it. no risk. He took no risks, just basically bored Leighton into a win. Keep in mind that Talos Leighton was done. He was done in the third round, maybe even the second round. That dude had nothing left. That guy has not been the same for so long now. He honestly should be done, but you can never tell a fighter to retire. Meanwhile, Gegard Mousasi, upset after the fight, upset in the press conference, upset, just angry that people thought his fight was boring. And in the main event, Michael Bisping gets a decision win over Anderson Silva. Not only a decision, but unanimous. And I agree. Michael Bisping took rounds 1, 2, and 4. In my opinion, Anderson Silva should have, when he went in the third round, when he dropped Bisping with that flying knee and then stopped and went to celebrate, that I think lost Anderson the fight. I think Michael Bisping, was done had Anderson Silva continued just to go. If Anderson had gone in for the kill, for the TKO, Herb Dean would have stopped it, in my opinion. But, it didn't happen, and Michael Bisping ended up doing enough to win the fight via decision. That's where I want to get to what Fang wanted to say. So this is Fang's comment here on Spreaker on the chat. First things first. He's not the Anderson of old. Steroids and injury, if this latest report about his leg is true, is going to plague the rest of his career. A lot of people said he won the fourth round. Bisping hit way more significant and hurtful shots that round, in my opinion. That one round was a split decision from the judges, I guarantee it. He showed that he still has some of that old Anderson in him, which is great, but if he's going to continue to fight, homie needs some milk in his life. He's got to get something done. Look, and it was something that it was a weird thing to see from Silva, because I thought he looked all right in the first round. In the second round, he looked all right. In the third round, he obviously dropped Bisping. He looked great. In the fifth round, he looked great. But every other round, he was playing around. He kept letting Bisping pressure him into getting his back on the cage. It was something you really never see Anderson Silva. And the old Anderson Silva, that fight, if this was this Anderson Silva before he fought Chris Weidman, that fight was gonna go. That fight was gonna go in whatever direction Anderson Silva wanted it to go. And he had no control of that. Michael Bisping controlled this fight the entire time. Anyway, Fang here on the speaker chat continues. It's gotten to a point in the sport that when a former champion loses, the other guy is cheated. He either paid the judges, Uncle Dana paid the judges, judges are idiots, ref is an idiot, which is actually true 95% of the time. And then Mike Jarve says, Anderson saw ref coming in both times and cut him off. Look, there's a lot of factors in this fight. It really is. And I was talking to I was talking to Jesse, who's also part of Crossbones. I was talking to him just a little while ago. He was saying, his point was this. He said, this isn't a fight that Michael Bisping won. This is a fight that Anderson Silva lost. And if that makes any sense, basically what he's saying is Anderson Silva lost his fight more than Michael Bisping won it. And I see his point because of the whole, in the third round, not going in for the kill afterwards, and also letting himself get backed up. But this is just a different guy. This is a different human being. This is a guy's been that got knocked out by Weidman, then had his leg shattered, and then just like Fang said, if the reports of this broken leg in the first round against Bisping is true, it's a guy that's just no longer durable. Anderson Silva's, his age is there, he's showing. Now, you can say whatever you want about the fact that he wasn't before I think the Nick Diaz fight, he wasn't randomly tested ever. That might have been part of it. Who knows? But this is not the same Anderson Silva that we saw fight Rich Franklin, fight Forrest Griffin, and win all those just crazy Chael Sonnen. This is not the same guy that front kicked Vito Belfort to hell. None of that. This is a different guy. And honestly, if his leg break thing is true, I think he should call it. And for sure, his family's telling him to just end it. But I think he fights one more time. Fang says if it was the Anderson of old, he would have knocked Bisping out in the second. I would have bet $1,000 on it. You know what? If it was the Anderson Silva of old, the one before the Weidman fights, that fight would have been the first round. I think it would have been like a crazy front kick. Because look, Michael Bisping's not he's not the savviest of guys either. But he just had the right game plan to fight an old Anderson Silva. By the way, I love all these tweets on Twitter. All these guys on Twitter saying that Anderson Silva's Chael Sonnen 3 should happen. No. Don't let that happen ever. Nobody wants to see that. That's almost getting into Bellator circus territory. Don't do that. No one wants to see that happen again. And by the way, I would completely 100% think that Anderson Silva should pull that win off against an old Chael Sonnen that hasn't fought in forever. Although Chael Sonnen is a wrestler, he might be able to grind it out, but please no. Yeah, definitely. And Fang, yeah, if you never heard of that before, Mike making a good point. Out of respect, if you see mouthpiece out, why would you hit somebody? And look, that might have been it too, but it wasn't like he stopped and waited. He stopped and went to celebrate. So, but who knows, man? Honestly, I want to hear, and it's gonna be a while. I want to hear like an Anderson Silva interview where he talks specifically about what he thought when that went down, because that would clear things up completely. Fang says Chael will beat the piss out of Anderson Silva now. Maybe, man. I don't know, but I don't really care to see it. And yeah, he was never. Anderson Silva basically said that the first time he was randomly tested, at a competition and everything was for the Diaz fight. And that's when he popped hot for the Thai ED pills. So that's kind of what worked out for him. But again, I mean, as a fan, I kind of want Anderson Silva just to hang it up. As a fan, there's a lot of guys in MMA that I wish would end it at the right time. Watch it again. Anderson sees the mouthpiece. I'm gonna have to watch it then, because that's curious for me. I want to see that. I'm gonna have to go back and see that, and I'm also hoping that someone interviews Anderson Silva about what he thought that moment. Because I think that matters. I think that matters to know exactly where his mindset was when that the mouthpiece popped out and when Herb Dean basically stopped the action to give Bisping his mouthpiece back. He saw it, but as everyone else in the UFC, no one likes Bisping apparently. That's the weird part. No one I like Bisping. I've always liked Bisping. He's a guy he's funny. I like funny guys. I mean, it's just funny. Koscheck was never funny though. Fang says the only person I hated more than Bisping is Josh Koscheck. Koscheck wasn't funny. He was kind of just, kind of a douche. It's kind of his claim to fame is he's the biggest douche ever. And I remember during I think it was the first season of Tough, Josh Koscheck messing with a very, very drunk Diego Sanchez, and Ken Flo being right there trying to stop Koscheck from messing with Diego. Yeah, Koscheck's not a fun guy to be drunk around. He's kind of a, like I said, he's kind of a dick. So, all right, moving on here to this weekend's card. Big card. And Mike Jarv says it's a respecting, not a ref thing. I agree. Anderson Silva is a true martial artist. If there's anything you can say about Anderson Silva, true martial artist. Champion of champions, for sure. Great. Honestly, I still think he's the greatest of all time. Fang says Dan Hardy still wants to jack his jaw, talking about Koscheck. He said if he was allowed to return to fighting, he wants Koscheck. Well, he's going to have to go to Bellator now. And that's if Koscheck can survive a training camp, which apparently he can. So, that's where we're at with that. All right, UFC 196 this Saturday. Whoa. Oh, my computer went weird for a second. Anyway, UFC 196 this Saturday. Early prelims on UFC Fight Pass, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 3:30 p.m. Pacific time. Kicking off with Julian Juicy J. Erosa against Teruto Yoshabo Ishihara from Japan. Then Jason Sago against Justin J. Bomb Salas. And then the feature early prelim is actually Diego Sanchez against Jim Miller. For sure, this is a move by Eric Winter, who's the head of Fight Pass, and Dana White and everybody else that's invested into Fight Pass. This is a move to try and get people to buy into Fight Pass and watch the fight on there. I get it, but it kind of sucks. I don't want to see Diego and Jim Miller on Fight, but I want to see him on TV where everyone else can see him too. That's gonna be look. Diego's gonna come out like a psycho, for sure. Okay, so everyone should be able to see that, not just Fight Pass people, but again, marketing. It's kind of how it goes. And I agree, Fang. Sanchez Miller could be a huge war, and I think it will be. I hope it will be. All right, first fight on the FS1 prelims, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific time. Darren Elkins against Chas Skelly. This is a weird fight. This is like the fight you saw in high school when the two whitest kids in school got in a fight, in a scrap in the parking lot. It just turns out they both know how to fight. It's kind of how it goes. After that, Vitor Miranda, who's nicknamed Lex Luthor because he's bald, against Marcelo Guimarães. Then Eric Silva against Nordine Taleb. I think Eric Silva screwed in this one. That we haven't seen the same Eric Silva for a long time. Because Eric Silva back in the day was ripped, had just cardio for years, and now he's soft, no cardio, and gets beat down. And Nordine Taleb is a monster who's going to come and just destroy him. So I'm calling. This might be the only fight I picked tonight. Nordine Taleb's going to knock Eric Silva out first round for sure. Or early second round, but I think first round. All right, and the feature prelim on FS1, Brandon Thatch against Siyar Bahadurzada. This is, of course, two kickboxers against each other. It's going to be great. Both of them like to knock people out. Neither one is great on the ground. So they're really trying to set up the card by putting on some crazy striking match in this card for the prelims. All right, and then the main card kicks off only on pay-per-view, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific time, with Amanda Nunes against Valentina Shevchenko. One of the two new European hotties that the UFC has signed. And she has a gun tattoo on her side. That's kind of weird. But hey. And then after that, Corey Anderson, who doesn't know what 24/7 is, calls himself Beast in 25/8. Okay. Against Filthy Tom Lawler, who last I saw today in some pictures, he has a weird beard going on. But hey, do your thing, Tom. You're a weirdo anyway. And then Guillaume Villante against Ilir Latifi. This should be a good fight. I really do think this is going to be a good fight. The Ilir Latifi that showed up in his last one, in shape, ready to go, is legit. Now, Guillaume Villante has like 5 inches of height on him, but he doesn't have much of a reach advantage, which is weird. So, but again, this is going to be a big fight. This Latifi is way better than the ones you've seen before. Ilir Latifi is I think he's going to take the beat. Honestly, I'll call this one too. I think Latifi knocks Guillaume Villante out. All right, in the co-main event, this is one that everyone wants to talk about. Okay, not everyone, but people are overlooking because of the main event. Holly Holm, champ, just knocked out Ronda Rousey not too long ago. The Preacher's daughter taking on the cupcake Miesha Tate. And this is where it gets kind of crazy. Mike Jarvis saying Miesha and her team really think she's going to knock Holly out. Nope. That's not happening. If there's anything that's going to happen by Miesha, it's going to be a decision or a submission. And Fang even says that if Miesha wins, it will be by sub. There's an 85% chance of that not happening. If O'Brien sold that fight, which one? The Holly fight or the Hunt Mir fight? Let me know. But look, everyone's expecting Holly Holm to come in and knock Miesha Tate out, but I don't think it's gonna happen. I think it's gonna be a really, really tough fight for Holly Holm. I still think she wins, and I'm picking Holly to win. And I'm gonna say it's gonna be like a third or fourth round knockout, but look, man, you don't. Okay, so FRB sold the Lawler fight. Got it. But look, you could punch Miesha Tate in the mouth a bunch of times. Miesha Tate can take a shot like no other. We've all seen Miesha Tate take just heavy shots and just kind of shake it off for a second, going for a double leg, take you down, get top position, and then beat you down. But it's not. I don't think it's gonna be that easy to take Holly Holm down. I think this is going to be a long fight. It's going to go third, fourth round, maybe even decision. I don't know. But I think Holly Holm takes it either way. But Miesha Tate, is a chick to be reckoned with. So, but I don't think Miesha wins this at all. I really don't. And certainly not by knockout. If she does, it'll be some kind of submission. Or if she's able to stay on top of Holly Holm the entire fight, it'll be a decision. But unfortunately, unfortunately for Miesha Tate, I think Holly Holm's going to knock her out third, fourth round maybe, and keep her belt. And Mike's saying, Mike was talking about the Lawler fight, and then Fang adds on to that. Lawler has something to prove after getting into the debate with Hardy on Twitter. Yeah, if you haven't seen it, Dan Hardy and Tom Lawler got into it back and forth, just blabbing about something crazy. Did you see Easy? You have to explain that one, Mike. All right, main event, Conor McGregor against Nate Diaz at 170 pounds. It's going to be interesting. Nate Diaz probably won't have to cut much weight, maybe a few pounds to make 170. Conor McGregor's not going to cut any weight, and he's huge. Conor McGregor is a big boy. It's going to be crazy. Look, Nate Diaz has the advantage in the ground, more than likely, right? But this fight should not go to the ground. This is going to be a stand-up fight. Nate Diaz is working on his boxing. Oh, he's been a good striker for a long time, but he's a volume puncher. Conor McGregor is a heavy puncher. We saw what that left hand did. What that left hand did to Jose, what that left hand did to Chad Mendes, who hits like a Mack truck. Oh, Fang's talking crap now. He says Diaz is going to hell. He's going the hell down. Diaz is going the hell down, dude. Eddie, man, your heart will break. I swear it. Look, man. Here's the thing. If this is Nate Diaz and Conor McGregor, both of them on full camp. Now Conor McGregor's on full camp for sure, but if Nate Diaz is in full camp, I would argue with you on that forever. But if it was Nate Diaz on full camp, I would argue with you on that forever. But it's not, so I'm not going to argue with that. I honestly look. I'm rooting for Nate Diaz. I always root for Nate and Nick. A lot of it has to do with the fact that a lot of people hate him, and so I go against I usually go against what everyone else says. So, but Faye makes a good point. Diaz is just breaking out the red panties, baby. Yep, that's why I'm happy for Nate. Win or lose, he's getting paid. And look, more than likely, Conor's going to win this fight. I mean, it's just. Nate takes too many. Nate gets hit a lot. Nate gets hit a whole lot, and he's a tough guy that can take shots. But that Conor McGregor left hand is insane. Okay, if Conor and Mike says if Conor hits Diaz and nothing happens, then what? I don't think you finish Nate Diaz off with a one punch KO. That's not happening. But if Nate Diaz, like I said, Nate Diaz takes a lot of hits. He takes a lot of damage during fights. If Conor hits him, if he lets Conor hit him too many times, you know what I mean? Nate is going to get hurt. You know what I mean? So I think for Nate Diaz to be successful, he's got to get in and out. He can't not get hit too many times by Conor, because Conor will Mack truck him down if he lets Conor hit him. You know what I mean? Look, real recognize real, man. Conor McGregor is a super strong guy who's probably stronger. And Conor has this thing about timing. He can time anybody. And he does it quickly. It took him 13 seconds to time Jose Aldo. Hell, Conor McGregor probably already timed Nate Diaz right now. He probably knows his timing now. So it's a tough fight to call for me, because I'm it's one of those, my brain says Conor McGregor, my heart says Nate Diaz is going to win it, but I'm just hoping for a great fight. I'm just happy this fight was made. I just wish it would have been on a full camp for Diaz, but all good, man. Is this a better fight? To me, this is going to be a better fight than the RDA fight. As far as the build up to it, and at the weigh-ins, at the press conferences, on the walkouts in the cage before the fight starts, even during the fight. Conor talks, Nate talks too. Nate, throws up fingers and stuff. Nick and Nate are the most, they're the lead. They're just fearless guys, but they're also the most defiant, right? I mean, how many times do we see Nate Diaz getting beat down by Benson Henderson, and Nate Diaz was just flipping him off anyway? That dude does not care. Oh, that press conference at the UFC gym in California, where Nate Diaz went out saying, "Oh, you fought midgets, you're the champion of the midgets," something like that. Oh, I bursted out laughing. Conor tried his best to get to Nate Diaz's head, and it wasn't working. You know how the world knew that he was not going to get to Nate Diaz's head? When Conor McGregor and Nate Diaz going back and forth saying, I don't give an F. Oh, F your belt, dude. And then Conor says, I don't give an F about the belt. And then Nate gets him real good by, if you don't give an F about the belt, why do you carry it everywhere? And Conor had to shut up right there. He was like, oh damn, he got me. I don't, so he just kept on talking and stuff. But man, he got him good. He got him good right there. That's when you knew, that's when you knew that Nate Diaz, look, you're not going to out-talk Nate Diaz. You're not going to get in his head, because Nate Diaz, look, he says he doesn't give an F. He legitimately doesn't give an F. That's not a BS. That's not trash talk. That's legit. The Diaz brothers do not care. When Diaz showed up high, like always, look, man, they probably fight better high anyway. They certainly do triathlons and all that stuff, high, so. 99.5% chance Diaz will piss hot, says Fang. This is not Nick Diaz, though. This is Nate. Let me look up real quick, see how many times Nate has tested positive. I don't think. See, Nate. Okay. Looking it up right now. Yeah, dude, I don't think Nate has ever tested positive. Yeah, only Nick has tested positive. So I mean, look, it's possible that he gets tested positive for marijuana. But Nick's the one that gets caught. Nate never gets caught. Nate's you got to give Nate that much credit. He's not as he cares a little more than Nick does. I'll tell you that much. But that's where we're at with UFC 196. I'm super excited for it. I know everybody else is. More curious for what happens in that main event. Like, honestly, you know what? I'm and this is gonna sound like BS to a lot of people, but I'm as excited for the co-main as I am for the main because I want to see what Misha could bring. You know what I mean? But the hype's gonna be around that main event, so of course I'm gonna talk about that way more than I'm gonna talk about the co-main. All right, I'm gonna give you a quick rundown of the next 3 cards. The next card after this weekend's card is Saturday, March 19th in Brisbane. It's gonna be headlined by Mark Hunt against Frank Mir. On that card as well is a weird fight. Hector Lombard against Neil Magny. They don't even look like the same humans. Yeah, Hunt and Mir is the next card. Hector Lombard against Neil Magny. Jake Matthews against Johnny Case. Daniel Kelly against Cara Zapato. Antonio Carlos Jr. from Brazil. James Tahuna against Steve Boss. And Beck Rawlings against Seohee Ham. They keep trying to get Beck Rawlings to be something in the UFC, and I don't see it, man, at all. I honestly think it's a weird thing. And then here's another one where they put a fight that probably deserves to be on TV. They put it on Fight Pass. The feature for the Fight Pass is Ross Pearson against Abel Trujillo. I don't know about you guys, but I think I should be on FS1. I don't think I should be on Fight Pass. But I think they're just doing that to get more people to sign up on there. And then Leslie Smith against Ren Nakai. If you guys remember, Ren Nakai is the little the Japanese fighter who I think Misha Tate beat down. And Leslie Smith is the one whose ear exploded in Mexico. She tried to keep going. That was a weird thing, honestly, to see. All right, the card after that is going to be Ben Rothwell against Dos Santos on Sunday, April 10th. So we get quite a bit of a break in between those two, and between the Mir card and the Rothwell card. So this one comes from Croatia. Ben Rothwell against JDS. Also on that card, Gabriel Gonzaga against Hussein Magomedov. Then Jan Blachowicz against Igor Pokrajek. Bojan Mikhailovic against Francis Ngannou, who is a massive heavyweight, giant ripped dude. Then Bartosz Fabinski against Nicholas Dalby. And Timothy Johnson, who looks just like a cartoon character, against Marcin Tybura. And the card after that, just the last one we're going to talk about here tonight, is one I'm actually pretty excited for. It's right before UFC, I think 197, which is headlined by Jones Cormier with DJ against DJ against Cejudo on that one. But this Khabib Nurmagomedov against Tony Ferguson card is free, and it's going to be awesome. And you should definitely watch it, because let me just read off the fights, okay? This should be a pay-per-view card, my opinion. If you just add a championship fight to the start as a main event, this is a title fight. But this headliner could be for a title shot, and in fact, I'll argue that it should be for a title shot. Okay, but we'll start from the bottom here. John Dodson against Manny Gamborian just added to this card a couple days ago. That's a fight right there. Yeah, you can say whatever you want about John Dodson. Manny Gamborian is a tough guy. That's going to be a baller fight. After that, Drew Dober against Islam Makhachev. That's going to be a good fight. Cesar Ferreira Mutante, who's Vitor Belfort's homie, against Kyle Magalhaes. That's going to be a crazy fight. Corn McGee always brings it, and the Argentina Santiago Ponzinibbio is a badass. Cub Swanson comes back, taking on Hakran Diaz. It's going to be a good fight. Betch Correia against Raquel Pennington. I don't know about you guys, man, but Raquel Pennington's a brawler. Correia. Betch Correia is a brawler, and Raquel Pennington is a striker, legit striker. I think she's just gonna pepper Correia to decision, if not a TKO. I think this could be a good fight for Pennington. I honestly think it's a bad fight for Correia, but that's just my opinion. After that, Benil Dariush against Michael Chiesa, good fight. This fight right here is low key baller. Rose Namajunas against Tisha Torres is a rematch. Tisha Torres undefeated in her professional career, 7-0, all decisions though. And Rose Namajunas 5-2. All her wins finishes by submission. Of course, Teach Torres is a wrestler coming out of a American Top Team. Rose Namajunas out of Colorado. This is going to be a crazy fight, especially after the beating Rose just put on Paige Van Zandt. That was just tough to watch. Hard to see a pretty girl get beat up. By the way, Rose Namajunas is beautiful on her own. She pulls off that short hair perfectly. All right, after that, still baller fights. Okay. And I agree with you, Fang. I think Rose gets her this time, too. I think Rose just has too much. She's improved so much just recently. And Tecia Torres had to get a decision over like a 6-day or 12-day, whatever it was. I think 8-day notice fighter out of the MMA lab. I forgot her name. I apologize for that. But she got a decision over her. Okay. Rose Namajunas is going to come in ready to go, ready to finish this fight. I think Rose it's Rose's time to win. It really is. All right. After that, still baller fights. Lyoto Machida against Dan Henderson. You want to see two legends go at it? Yeah, it's on. And the co-main event, this is a bit of a weird fight, but hey, why not? Rashad Evans against Shogun Hua. This is gonna be a good fight, I think. Should Rashad Evans get there healthy? I think if Rashad Evans shows up anything less than 100%, we're gonna see just a sad beatdown at the hands of Shogun. Because I think Shogun still has plenty left in the tank. But I would love to see Rashad Evans do something crazy and just shut everybody up about his age and his body breaking down on him. And in the main event, I could not ask for something better for this card than Khabib Nurmagomedov's return against Tony Ferguson, who is on a roll right now. This is going to be just a sick fight. I cannot wait for this fight. This whole card is insane. The fact that nobody's still nobody's talking about it yet, and I know it's still a ways away on April 16th. Believe me, after 196 goes, people are going to start talking about this card for sure. Okay, Tampa, Florida. I wish I could fly out there and go to the fights. This whole card is worth sitting down and not moving at all. I agree with you, Fang. I can't believe it's a pay-per-view. It isn't a pay-per-view. This honestly should be, if you just add a title fight to as a headliner, this would be a pay-per-view all day. Okay, but super happy it's free. I don't want to pay. I don't want to pay more money at UFC more than I have to watch fights. Oh man, that was a long MMA segment, and I love doing that. By the way, real quick, last second here, things on the second thing is MMA. The Anderson Silva's manager is asking for the rematch against Bisping, but in Brazil, I don't know about that. If you remember Marion Reneau, who lost a split decision to Ashley Evans Smith, she actually appealed that loss. It stands. So Evans Smith's win over Reneau stands. And then Matt Mitrione is going to appeal that loss to Travis Brown because the ref screwed it up. That's his reasoning. So I don't know. It's a little weird for that to be the reason, but refs need to be held in check and held accountable too, I think. So go for it, Mitrione, see what happens. All right, that's gonna do it for me tonight. Thank you, Mike, for tuning in. The meathead of Cyclops is Fang. Hey, man, he's got one eye left, right? He's like the American heavyweight version of Michael Bisping, except with way worse striking and gassing, way worse gassing. Thanks, Fang, for tuning in. Sorry about the Skype thing. Next time I'm gonna get it fixed for the next one for sure. So if you want to tune in and call in, we can even talk about the Anderson's fight again. No problem. Mike, thanks for tuning in, my friend. Anybody else that listened tonight, appreciate it. Catch you guys again on Wednesday. I believe Wednesday's the next show. You guys have a wonderful night. Have a wonderful weekend or week. Get through it. I'll catch you on the next one. It's Eddie Law signing off. See ya.